Here is Matt Walsh. This is what he said. Literally, like, this is what he said after the shooting, okay?
And so instead, the left has decided to blame conservatives for causing this last mass shooting through our alleged anti-LGBT rhetoric.
It doesn't matter, by the way. No matter what happens, there is not going to be any condemnation. There is not going to be any sort of like comeuppance. If you believe in karmic justice, you are wrong, okay? We live in a world where Henry Kissinger is still very much alive, okay? Anthony Bourdain is dead. Henry Kissinger, very much alive. Understand that bad things do not happen to bad people, okay? Especially the worst people in society, conservative commentators. Straight up, the absolute worst people. Like monstrous individuals. Like without taking accountability, what are the things that at least Ben Shapiro said, even though he is a demon himself, okay, as we all know. One of the things that Ben Shapiro said was like, oh, well, this is, you know, I condemn the violence. This motherfucker never even did that.
The Attorney General of Colorado, Phil Weiser, who should be answering questions about why the laws against kidnapping aren't being enforced in his state, apparently, instead was on CNN this morning.
But remember, Ben Shapiro is this guy's dad, basically, okay? So he is not a good person either. Ben Shapiro also is doing the same, like, oh, the left is crazy for saying this is anti-LGBT rhetoric caused violence, okay? He's still a piece of shit.
Morning, casting the blame as far from himself as he possibly could. Listen.
Thank you so much, Attorney General, for joining us. The major question this morning has been about motive here. Is the suspect speaking to investigators yet? And what have you learned about a potential motive, if anything?
So the investigation's ongoing, and I think it's fair to say, based on the facts, it's very hard to conceive of a situation where the motive wasn't generated by hate. This was a well-known nightclub that individuals, regardless of their sexual orientation or gender identity, the LGBTQ community knew was a safe place, was a place where people could be their authentic selves. And someone came and essentially took all that away because...
Like when a mass shooter enters a synagogue, nobody is like, oh, I wonder if this wasn't an anti-Semitic attack. Like everyone knows what it is because that's what it is. So why the fuck do you act like when you know an LGBT bar is targeted? You're like, oh, well, I don't know.
We know there's so much of this hate out there, particularly towards individuals who are LGBTQ. And this is obviously something that is painful. It was on Transgender Remembrance Day when it happened. So this is a call to all of us to look at that hate and ask, what do we do about it?
It's very hard to conceive of a situation where this incident doesn't enforce my preferred political narrative. That's what he's saying. He says there's a lot of hate towards LGBT people. But what is he talking about? I mean, what hate?
What hate? What is he talking about? Where is the hatred towards LGBT people? Like, I don't understand. Matt Walsh saying this is pretty funny because that's how big of a piece of shit he is. That fucking book back there, the What is a Woman? Like, literally, both of those things are anti-LGBT. Also, someone needs to check in on Matt Walsh. What is that baby, bro? What the is that, bro? What is this man doing? What is that baby? I don't understand what that is, okay? People of marginalized communities can commit hate crimes against their own communities is too high level for the general public who barely understands anything about these communities and they know it. I mean, yeah, that's true. It doesn't change how much of a fucking absolutely transparent psychopath Matt Walsh is. I don't know what else to say other than that.
To put it simply, the point of Drag Queen Story Hour and the supposed family-friendly drag shows is to turn your children queer. That's
not how this works, man. That's not how this fucking works, you goddamn piece of shit. Oh my God, dude. That's not how this works. That's not how anything works. There is no world in which, like, you see a drag queen and then you fucking turn gay. Unless that's like a self-report or something. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Is the goal. And whenever you say that, what I just said right there is going to be clipped by Media Matters. Hello, everybody, on Twitter. The people who invented it stated explicitly that that is the point. To help children live queerly. That's their quote. And the thing about the left is that what they believe and what they do, all of it is so horrifying, so perverse, so degrading, that if you just...
Yes, dude. Yes. LGBT representation in media allows people to be more comfortable with their inherent sexuality. Okay? Yes. That is why you're fucking arguing against it. You call it turning people gay. Normal human beings call it being comfortable with your sexuality. That's the main difference here. There's an overwhelming amount more straight representation and heteronormative representation in every fucking media. In every fucking ounce of media, it's just breeders everywhere. You know, cissets everywhere. Like, what the fuck were people doing before Will and Grace? Like, no gay people existed? Is that what you think?
Quote them. then you somehow sound like the crazy one. If you quote what they are saying, it sounds crazy just to say it out loud because it's so horrifying, yet it's true. And this is the reason the left...
Why is it true? Because Matt Walsh said it's true. Matt Walsh, the understander of gay people and queer media.
There's so much about this, and they defend it so vigorously. Because according to the left, think about this. According to the left, the drag queen child combination has become dangerous. They say it's a lightning rod for violent backlash, right? That's what they say. And it's greatly exaggerated, of course. Mostly it's invented out of whole cloth, actually.
Yeah, except for this, past instance, I guess.
But even by their version of events, if it's causing this much chaos and violence, why do you insist on continuing to do it? If according to you, it's like putting people's lives at risk, if the effort to have...
He's literally saying it. That's the purpose of the violence, is to stop people from doing it. And he's like, just stop, and the violence will stop. That's an insane admission. I mean, I can't believe this motherfucker. I can't believe that we are at a stage now where this guy can just straight up say, stop doing gay shit in public.
Putting people's lives at risk. Why are you still doing it? Is it that important to you? Now, as always, they try to flip the burden around on us. They demand that we explain why we object to children being exposed to drag queens, and we can explain it, and we have, and we will continue to, because it's very easy to explain. Drag is inherently sexual and ideological. It is burlesque, and it's not appropriate to bring your child to a burlesque show, you disgusting freaks.
He literally he just straight up said it, like, just listen to the terrorists. Listen to the terror, and stop doing it. Gay people, queer people in America, understand that this is not about fucking drag queen hour, okay, reading hour. It's about all queerness, because Matt Walsh doesn't stop, even though you don't need to stop doing drag reading hour or whatever the fuck, okay? But it's not about that anyway. Just like I told you, it was never